All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Green White Checkered TV. We're back after a couple weeks off because of a race that was supposed to be on Sunday night, which wound up being on Saturday night, a Super Bowl of the hand egg variety, and yeah, and then almost a conflict of time with the Daytona 500 race, which got pushed to tomorrow. So we're good. So good evening, everybody. Welcome to Green White Checker TV. Tonight we have the Area 51 Sunday Superspeedway Truck Series here at Talladega Superspeedway, race number 4 of the 12. So this is going to be the halfway point through the regular season till we get to that 4-race playoff. I'm going to have Matt Wagner in the booth with me this evening, calling the shots here tonight. Right now, drivers putting down their qualifying laps as we speak. And yeah, this is kind of I feel like, to me, this is one of my favorite tracks for plate racing is Talladega. It's big, it's fast, it's wide, and I don't know, I just feel like it's got about everything you could want for plate racing here. So 75 laps will be our race distance. There will be 3 attempts of a green white checkered should we need it, and 1 fast repair available for all the drivers here tonight. And speaking of which, we have a good number of drivers here tonight, Matt. I want to say we're close to about 30, if I'm not mistaken. So it's going to be good. I know there's one that isn't going to be racing, but we've got a good group here tonight.
I would like to race, but that's okay. I'd rather be here. I'm safe and I'm sound, and I finally got that whole victory. But I didn't get a Daytona 500 win. I didn't get a chance to take part of it because I unfortunately had to work on Saturday. So life is number one, of course. But 29 guys. A lot of people are itching to race because they didn't get to see a race today.
Well, I'm just peeking around over at that results, and I mean, you beat one of the drivers that's in here tonight, Vicente Guerrero. So I mean, that's pretty good right off the bat there, because we know Vicente knows his way around these ones.
No, I actually had help from him. I will say on stream here. Hang on, I will say on stream here. So I got kicked out of line early in that race, and Vince came back for me during an official race. For him to do that, I really, really greatly appreciate him doing that. Without him, I would not have caught that victory. Thank you, Vince.
Well, I mean, that is kind of the point of these. Well, not the point, but I should say. I mean, that is kind of one of those things with super speed racing is you do need help. I mean, it's one of those ones where you can have the best strategy, the best plans, whatever it may be, but when it comes down to the end of it, I mean, usually you're going to need a little bit of help. We've had a couple races where pretty much the whole field winds up kind of in a ball of mess, and okay, at that point, maybe you don't need the help at the end. But I think for the most part, it's always good to have a little bit of drafting help at the end. So we'll see if that comes into play. So I mean, and that's where the teammates come in. That's where we spy on the Discords and see who's in what channels with everybody. And I'm kind of peeking around. We got a good group of looks like 4 drivers on the Blind Squirrel team. 4 with the Highlighter Bros here tonight. Roswell's got about 5, and then TW Team Extreme, they each have 2. Say Seth Smith and his brother. I know he's here, but he's not in the Discord yet. So Patrick's got to hop on Discord. Have to have Mom check on that one. Yeah, I saw that too. So I kind of closed the ticker real quick. We're gonna pop it back up, see if it starts working better. That looks a little smoother. Maybe not. That ticker's it's struggling a little bit here. So we'll keep an eye on that as we get to there. However, we have finished qualifying, and that means it is time to pull up our starting grid for tonight's event. So let me go ahead and get over here so we can take a look at these trucks that are going to be lined up here at the start-finish. And we're going to kick it off with Sebastian Marin on pole position by 0.03 of a second, with one of his teammates there, Steve Krosek, right to the outside of him. 0.03, then 0.07 back to Kevin Freeze, 0.09 back to Cody Nagels. So 4 trucks within 100th of a second for that pole position. Then there's that top 5, Vicente Guerrero, Seth Groover there, 6, Gabe Butler, James Mohan, Patrick Groover, Joe Delavecchia rounding out our top 10. 11th and 12th, you got Eric Laurie and then Bud Steele. So continue on down the order. You got Brian Grimm, Richard Sanchez, Jack Walls, Mike Rimkus, Ryan Decker, Todd Merkel, Corey Buskirk, and Jacob Lee, the reminder of the top 20. And then Jason Bogart, 21st. Highlighter Bro right behind him. Hondo Longmire, 22nd. They got Carl Lingle and Jeremy Osborne there, 23rd, 24th. And again, man, I'm excited because we got a full house here tonight. They got, well, you're starting 25th, but not technically. So it could be a bonus here for Nick Wing here, who's going to have a pit opening there, or on his pit exit, I should say, with you starting 25th. So Nick Wing, 26th. Jim Brooks, Ambrose Nabel there, 27th, 28th. And then Bob Fitzgerald and Frank Ranger Jr. going to round out the last row of this race here tonight, Matt. So again, these things, especially here at Talladega, really doesn't matter where you start. I'm not too. I don't feel like we're going to be too worried about that one. I think it's going to be more about kind of where you want to be after the last pit stop. I think that's going to be the point where everybody's going to have to try to make that thing go. And it looks like ticker here is working a little better. And we got some strategery here, Mr. Matt. Look at all these trucks sitting on pit road here. We've got Steve Krosek, we've got Cody Nagels, we've got Vicente Guerrero, Kevin Freeze, Gabe Butler, Joe Delavecchia, all sitting on pit road. It looks like even a few others here. Eric Laurie, Sebastian Marin, I think are going to wind up in there as well. I'm showing Ambrose Nabel as well, but what that's going to do is that's going to kind of shake up the grid here. And as you can see, we got the 32 of Seth Groover here. He's working that pace truck. And here's the size comparison. Look at that pace truck size compared to that truck of the 32. That is a much, much bigger pace truck there. Well, if Mama Groover's here, she's going to be happy to see her boys on the front row to kick off this race here tonight. So, yeah, so it's shifting a bunch of drivers up a lot here, Matt. So, basically 20 drivers are going to be taking the green. It looks like we have about 7 drivers sitting on pit road. I think actually maybe 8 if I'm not mistaken. We'll double check for Sebastian and for Ambrose here. So it should be 29 drivers total taking the grid here tonight. So we'll keep an eye on that. But yeah, some strategy here early off from some of the boot knockers and the Dale Cup guys deciding to start from the pits. Yeah, you got to get your obligatory Bud Steele win prediction in. He starts in the 6th position now with the number 6 truck. We'll see if that is a good omen or not for him, as we're going to switch it here in just a moment over to our starter cam, waiting for that field to pop into view, and then it will be wait for that green flag to fly before we get this race underway. And you're just about to see the trucks there. They show up in the screen. You can see that blue Geico restart zone. That is when the flag will fly. And the green flag is down and away as the Groover brothers lead the field here to start race number 4 of the season. So we are underway here, and then we'll wait just a little bit back. And here comes all those drivers coming out of pit road that started from the pits. From Steve Krosek back to Eric Laurie, Sebastian Marin. And actually, I don't see the 04 of Ambrose Nabel, unfortunately, but here's these guys, though. They're going to have to get a little bit more organized here because you see Eric and Sebastian falling back there. They'll need to have those guys wait for him and get pulled in. But up front, though, it's going to be the Groovers still side by side here in ring 3.
So right now with these guys running at the lead pack, guy, you want to put a gap between the guys who started in pits because you know how good they are. And I know the Goobers are trying to hook up with each other. I know it looked like Seth was trying to come down right in front of his brother there, but they need to put a gap.
Yeah, it would be good here if they can try to get some good laps here in once those guys are, while they're still trying to kind of get organized a little bit, which it looks like they've just about done. But basically right now I'm still waiting for that. So basically as the main pack here is about to enter turn number 3, that pack is just now coming out of turn 2 now on the backstretch. So basically that second pack's a full backstretch behind. As I say, we have Charles Sanchez chiming in here, rooting on that number 5 truck here, Richard. So yeah, it's a very good-looking Chevrolet Silverado there tonight. Saying Rick is always one you got to watch in these races. He's a really good pusher, and he's been able to put himself in the right place at the right time in some races. He snookered my dad and I one race as well, so he's definitely one to keep an eye on. But man, right now the front two here, just staying locked on side by side with one another. So, like I said, still continues to be the groovers. Now there's a little bit of separation. Let's watch Brian Grimm. Matt, do you think Brian's going to jump top, or is he going to stay committed? Looks like so far staying committed to Patrick up front.
So right now Patrick really needs to slide right in front of his brother. Looks like Brian Grimm is probably a little warm there in his truck.
Oh, big slide.
There's the move right there. That's what I was just talking about, because Brian Grimm was a little bit overheated. Now the brothers are hooked up together. They can try and put some distance on the second pack.
Yeah, so then that's a good point though, Matt. Is you can push for a while, but you can only push for so long before you get hot. Even though it's a nice track and ambient temperatures, it's only 60 degrees track temperature with the weather here. It's really easy to get these things overheated. So you got to try to kind of separate off a little bit, try to find a way to save a little bit. Looking at lap times though, that group being led by Steve Krosek was about half a second quicker that last time by. This pack here, a 50.38 to a 50.83 up front. So yeah, so something to keep an eye on. Also got a fan here rooting on that number 10 of Jason Bogart. Jason right now is sitting in the 11th position in that Busch Light truck. He is sitting right there behind the 22 of Todd Merkel. And I love the family aspect. Like I said, we know Groover's mom, and say we got mom and dad here rooting on the 5 as well, Richard Sanchez. So that's what we love. I love the family aspect, the friends, the family that kind of watch and kind of root on their drivers, cheer them on, and it's just really fun. It's something that is something that wouldn't have been really accessible years ago when we were younger, Matt. And I don't know. I think it's a lot of fun, and I'll say that's what makes it fun for me to be able to put on these broadcasts. Is kind of to be able to share this with the friends and the family of the drivers for sure.
I'm waiting for the Decker to chime in. Usually you
Oh no,
find her in the chat.
she's chimed in. Caitlin popped in a little earlier. Mr. Ryan is just outside the top 5 there in the number 48 Sensi truck.
Okay.
He is the 3rd truck in the outside line behind Bud Steele there. Now look at James Mohan, that Team Extreme truck number 7. He is going to lead that lap. But you saw them get just a little unsettled. They had to kind of reset and get themselves back in line there. But again, I'm watching the lap times. We'll wait to see what the second pack here gets to lap time wise. But right now, it's once again here. It's about a half a second, about 4/10 this time.
Yep.
50.93 for Patrick and Seth compared to 50.54 for Steve and Kevin. And I'm going to go back and they still are continuing to stay single file. So right now, not a lot of change there. I think they're just kind of running lockstep with one another. So we've seen the boot knockers do this before with Dale Cup as well. And you just saw the 7 truck of James Mohan. He got that lap lead. He said, all right, I'm rolling to the back. I did my job. I wanted to get that lap lead, get that bonus point. Now I'm going to roll out and just kind of ride here and wait till we get to the first pit stop, which that'll be the next thing to talk about, Matt, is pit window. Probably in the high teens or so. I want to say probably about 18, 19 laps, somewhere in that range. I think will be about when that pit window should open. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say it should be a 3-stop race for all the drivers. I don't think a 4th stop would be necessary. And I can tell you, though, that Ambrose Nabel has just left pit road in the 04 truck. So glad to see him on track. Unfortunately, obviously, a number of laps down there with everything from him starting just delayed here. Not sure if it's a hardware issue or what's going on, but I love the commitment, though, to get back after it, though, and still stay committed to trying to get some laps in. So I don't think he'll be able to get all 7 back, but again, I always love to see him still stay committed to at least get some laps in.
Hey, I've seen a driver come back with 4 laps down.
It's one of those things.
In real life.
it can happen, but at the same time, you don't want it to happen because that means there's 4 cautions, or in this case, there'd probably be about 7 cautions. So, for the sake of keeping it green, for some of these drivers, they're not going to want to see that, but. What we should do, Matt, is let's jump around here a little bit. We talked about some of the guys that were peeking in there. I'm going to jump to one of our let's find our highlighter bros here. First one I find is Jacob Lee there. He is in the pink 21 as he.
Yeah, he likes to listen to our broadcast. So
Yeah, so he wants attention.
Yeah, he wants attention.
As you saw, Jason Bogart there popped right in front of them. You can see a few car lengths behind him is his teammate there, Honda Longmire. And I believe they were green and yellow before. Looks like they've decided to go from green and hot pink now. And Honda's getting a great push from Nick Wing there in the 26 truck. But they have a few new friends here, I think, on the Discord. I want to say Jason Bogart's working with them in that 10. I know that the 5 was in there as well. So they've got 4 trucks strong, which is really good to have.
More than that. And Grubers have decided to join them as well.
Oh, that's going to be a force to be reckoned with if they've got that many trucks and that many talented trucks as well. And actually, Matt, last time by, leaders 50-26. That pack being led by Steve Krosek and company of 50-70. So it's half a second gain by the leaders this time. So the second pack actually losing to the lead pack. So not an easy job so far for him. But of course, like I said, I mean, the yellow changes everything. But also, though, I think it's one of the things that helps this front pack say, hey, you know what? Look, we can run as fast as those guys. I mean, we've seen them do it before where they started from the pits and they caught the field in pretty quick succession. That was a couple of years ago. The talent level of this field has grown exponentially.
Yes,
we have a very, very good group of super speedway racers and just racers in general. Like, we don't get to see their I ratings, of course, but I mean, we got some guys who could and should be like road to pro, if not Coke drivers, just from their talent alone. So no, there's a really, really good group of guys. And again, there's a bunch of guys that super speedways, their bread and butter. This is just, they like to do that. This is what they want to do. And they're really good at it. I know, for instance, I was watching Cody Nagels. He was running the NIS Daytona 500 fixed. He was in the top split, and I mean, he was mixing up with those pro drivers, the Coke drivers, and all those big names. And he couldn't find, that's like kind of what you said before, like he could not find anybody to help him, it seemed like. But he still came out of there with, I want to say it was a top 5 or 6 place finish without any help. It was a really, really impressive run by Cody. So, yeah, it's pretty cool to see what these guys can do with what they do in their hobbies and their talents.
Yeah, like I said, what we talked about before, it's going to take teammates to win these races. And speaking of that, Richard Sanchez has found Seth Gruber on the top lane. I think Seth pulled out just to
I think Patrick was there. I think Patrick was probably running hot, so Seth jumped up, and now Bud Steele saw the momentum and said, all right, I want to get a lap led here myself in that 6 truck. So I think Bud's going to try to get a nice push here from Seth, see if he can get that Navy F-150 to the front. I say Bud, I don't think has led a lap yet in this race.
Oh.
And also one of those TW boys there, Brian Grimm, and say they're catching that 04. We just mentioned Ambrose Nabel. But right now everybody's running 2x2. This should be a non-issue for Ambrose. He should be able to just kind of jump to the 3rd lane here. And I would expect to see the field just kind of swing on by him. So we'll keep an eye. Hopefully that goes to plan. And yeah, you can see that truck already now up in that 3rd lane. And that's kind of the rule that the league tries to have the drivers follow, is like, if you can go to the top, just go ahead and go to the top, let him on by, and cycle in. So exactly job done there by Ambrose. Appreciate him doing that. Now he needs to slot in, grab the draft so he doesn't fall back from these guys. As Bud Steele leads that lap, and look at the outside line go.
Here it goes. Yeah, it looked like Seth was quite a bit burned up there from the last pushing it with his brother, and pretty much pushed Bud Steele to the lead, and now Patrick can be doing the pushing on the inside line here.
Yeah, they just got to keep an eye on those temps. As Mama Gruber's checking in, always good to hear from her, as she always likes to cheer on and root for her boys and checking on where they are at. And so right now, pretty much 1st and 3rd. So I'm going to jump around a little bit more. We got to jump to one of our highest climbers right now, Matt. That is the 998 here, Corey Buskirk. He's that 3rd truck on the outside line. He is plus 13 from his starting position as they currently run. Of course, that kind of ebbs and flows. So right now, he and Jason Bogart, the highest climbers, at 13 apiece. Jason actually right behind him there. And then you go just a little couple trucks back here, and then this is where the kind of the group that's chilling out a little bit is. Right around Honda Longmire, Mike Rimkus, Carl Engel. These guys just cruise in single file, working the fuel numbers in these trucks. You can see them starting to drop to the bottom. This will probably slow the pace down a tiny bit here with everybody starting to single out. But you can see though everybody's kind of in this lane here, just kind of just cruising, leaving enough of a gap. Oh, we got trouble behind though. 17 of Frank Ranger Jr. slid. He's gonna slide back on track, but I think he's gonna keep it pointed straight. That should keep us under green here. He's gonna drop to the apron, and you'll see there goes that second pack. Yeah, and they give him plenty of room just in case. So we do stay green. Unfortunately, yeah, Frank Ranger Jr. I think got maybe a bit of a bump there. Let's go back here and take a look here. Oh. Yeah, just got caught in the back there by Carl Engel. I think maybe just got kind of that accordion effect, if you will. And unfortunately, that kind of slowed him up and then sent them around. You see Carl had a little slide there, too. So unfortunately, that means the 17 has lost the draft here. But again, still a long, long ways to go. Haven't even got to our first pit stop yet. As I was saying, now we got to jump to the second pack because we got some rooting going on for the Dale Cup boys. And there they are being led by 27 of Steve Krosek. Cody Nagel's right there in the third truck in line. So we're just talking about Cody a little bit ago with his NIS racing, and saw a little bit more smoke there. I don't know if no, that was through. Yeah, that was through 3 and 4. My apologies. So yeah, that was from the smoke from that 17 truck just a moment ago. But up front though, Gruber Boy still controlling the field here. But now the 5 truck, he's got to the outside now, getting help from that 998. But just 2 of them at the moment here, Matt. But I'm looking at the laps here. We're on lap 16. Again, I think it's about 17, 18, 19 is roughly most likely the pit window here. As it looks like Frank Ranger Jr. on pit road as we speak after that slide. So we'll keep an eye and see what he's able to do. Yeah, there's the 5. He's going to jump top here. That might be just to try to find a slot to drop down in, which I think he's going to pop in right in front of Jason Bogart. You can see Jason leaving him a nice opening here. And yeah, there he goes. He's going to drop on down, and actually, here they come. They're going to come to pit road here early. It's going to be the 10, the 43, the 21. Hondo with the big send in there. Carl Engel's going to jump in with them. So here's our first scheduled green flag pit stops at lap 17, Matt. Is this too soon for a 3-stopper?
It's too soon. I was able to run in practice 17 laps pretty much by myself. So maybe 17, I think maybe about 18 laps, maybe 19 laps. But I'm watching the tracker. Probably in the last 5 laps, the second pack has gained over 1 second. But it has kind of stabilized to about 10 seconds here. But I'm getting called by their leaders to pit here.
All right, so here comes the next pack of trucks. Can anybody go further? Looks like the answer is going to be no. Looks like the whole field's coming in this time around, so everybody's got to try to give a little bit of space. I think Ryan Decker may have got a little bit of a bump from the 7 truck, so now they're on pit road. But now everybody's got to try to find their pit stalls and not step on each other's toes. This always gets a little dicey here. But so far...
Look at that second pack guy.
Ooh, a little bit of contact there. And yeah, here comes the second group being led. I say they're on pit road. This is going to be dicey coming out because now these guys are going to be coming out as others are coming in. It's very close. It could be very close to having contact, but looks like we're going to get through it clean. And look at all these trucks just flying out of pit road. Looks like Seth's going to win that race off. Checking to see if anybody got nabbed here, and it looks like Brian Grimm may have got busted here on pit road.
Oh, we got a bunch of drivers. We've got Steven Korsak, Nicholas Wing, I think Frank Ranger got a black flag, and Brian Grimm all got nabbed for speeding.
Yeah, Brian Grimm, Steve Krosek, Joe Delvecchia now is rolling out. So yeah, so tough break for those guys. So now the question is going to be kind of, we saw the group that pitted the lap earlier being led right now by Jason Bogart. Here they are. They're all locked on together with the 4 of them. I think they're going to be okay. Yeah, they're going to, I think, be able to tag onto this group. Jim Brooks should be able to tag onto the back of them. But this really did spread out this pack just that little bit here. But great pit stops, though, by Seth. Seth Gruber, Ryan Decker, Patrick Gruber there. You see James Mohan. Who else is in there? Jack Walls, Bud Steele. Great job by them. Oh, actually, Nick Wing back on pit road. This might be an unsafe pit exit penalty as he's going to have to drop down onto pit road here, unfortunately. So far, this first pit stop has definitely caught a few guys out here. But it's really spread this field out here, which honestly, though, I think is actually going to help that pack that started from pit road, though, Matt, because kind of just almost like a ladder where you can just grab onto those guys and kind of keep pulling back in. So We'll keep an eye on those guys because right now we got,
yeah.
6 together? Yeah.
They only gained 5/10 out of that whole pit cycle, which is actually really good.
So, yeah, so right now we got the top 6 together. Now Todd Merkel's got locked on with the 27 there of Steve Krosek, who right now is the first truck 1 lap down. You see Rick Sanchez, he's just about to tag on to them. But then you got to go about 1.3 seconds back from them to Jason Bogart, who's with Honda Longmire and company. So these guys, they need to get organized here. You see Mike Rimkus there and Carl Engel side by side. They got to get single file here and just kind of keep that train pushing. And unfortunately, we mentioned Jim Brooks. He did not get pulled up back to those guys. He fell off the back of them, but he's now got help from Corey Buskirk. And then again, another second and a half. That brings you to Jeremy Osborne, Bob Fitzgerald. And then you go another 3.5 back to Kevin Fries, Vicente Guerrero, Sebastian Marin. But they got separated because now about 2 seconds back of them is this group: Cody Nagels, Gabe Butler, Eric Laurie. And then from them on back are the other guys that had pit penalties and so on, like Joe Delavecchia, Brian Grimm, Steve Krosek, Nick Wing, and company. So right now, this is the front pack here, Matt. This is our top 6, which is now about to be, looks like the top 7. Great pushing by the 27 to get Todd Merkel up there.
Watching Rick Sanchez like right on the edge of that,
He needs one more truck to help him.
I think he's got it. I'm watching his speed increase. He's got it.
Oh, yeah. Ticker's going the right way now. There's the 5 truck. He is going to pull up to them. So, yeah. So, put the 5 truck in this main pack, too. And it's about to be joined by Jason Bogart and Jacob Lee as well, because they're starting to tick the right way as well. So, it's about to be 10 trucks. And I think you can pretty much add another 3 here. So, I think these 3 are going to tag on as well. So, the one to watch for me right now up front is going to be the 27 truck.
Yeah.
Because, yes, he can be the lucky dog right now, Matt, but I think he's not going to want to do that. And actually, he's got competition now because Brian Grimm in the 321 truck, he is also now a lap down. So this is the lucky dog battle as we currently run, is the 321 and the 27. And I'd say in about 2 laps, you're going to add the 052 Joe Delavecchia to that mix as well. So this lucky dog battle is going to be a very, very big fight here in just a moment. You see Ambrose Nabel there jumping down onto pit road. I believe this is a scheduled stop for him. Again, he started the race a few laps down due to some network connectivity issues, unfortunately for him. But again, still making laps, though, so definitely applaud him for sticking it out. And then I believe Frank Ranger Jr., yeah, he is still on track after his contact as well. So he's still logging some laps, just unfortunately kind of stuck on his own currently. So yeah, so we'll keep an eye on these guys. But right now, though, that lead pack, like I said, it's 8 trucks at the moment. I think it's going to become 12 here very shortly with these 4 here working together to pull themselves back up into. Yeah, that ticker going very quickly now the right way. And yeah, so here you go. Here's the 27 truck. He's getting help finally from the 5. Again, he's going to want to get ahead of that 321 truck because that's the lucky dog battle. So he's going to have to be aggressive here to try to stay up front there. And get ready here, Matt. So we're going to have to add Joe Delavecchia to this fight as well.
I'm looking right now. I'm looking at the group that's starting pits. They have like pretty much stabilized, still 10 seconds back, and they haven't really made any much ground at all. It's just. But now look at the 27 now. He is now the lucky dog now.
Yeah, I say he's about to actually unlap himself if he runs this way. And actually, this is a great move. Also, look at Brian Grimm, the 321. He's going to help here because if he can push that 27 in front of the 54, if a yellow comes out, the 27 will already be on the tail end of the lead lap, and that would make Brian the lucky dog. So this is actually a really good strategy by Brian here to try to help that 27 truck because it'll also help him at the same time. So this is one of those times where it's good to do that. And right now, as they run, you saw the 27 just a nose ahead. So right now he sits at the absolute edge of the tail end of the lead lap. And then also now you can see on this main pack here, add Mike Rimkus, add Honda Longmire. They have joined that pack here together. So now we do have 12 trucks in this mix here.
Now we're under 8 seconds now. They have gained so much time.
They gained, Kevin Freeze gained a second that last lap over the lead pack there.
Yeah, so I think that was from the draft from Jim Brooks and all them.
Oh, maybe still a little bit, but that's going to make that pack bigger, which should allow them to be a little faster as well. So, but you see what Kevin Freeze is doing here. He's trying to stay in the middle because what he wants to do is he wants to try to get that whole team, if possible, to clear 51 of Jim Brooks and company. Couldn't do it, so the three of them cleared. Now they're going to run 2x2, which again, there's theories, Matt, about what's the faster way, single file or running 2x2. A lot of times I hear it depends on the amount of trucks you have in the pack. So, and look, we'll watch to see what the lap times look like this time, and it was actually about 0.2 slower. Yeah.
So that proves maybe, I don't know, something I had to experiment on. Quite curious, actually.
We'll see if we ever get a chance to talk to some of these drivers about it. So they probably have their theories too, and it also depends, of course, on how the lines are racing each other. If they're pinching each other and everything, it's going to slow things down. But if they're kind of running their own pace, I think it would be quicker still. Because I just feel like there's too much of an accordion if you're completely single file. But while we've been talking about that, though, James Mohan, he's back to the front on that number 7 truck for Team Extreme, leads that lap there. Again, help from the 5 of Richard Sanchez. And then again, the 321 here, Brian Grimm. The 2 lap trucks right now that are on the Lucky Dog positions are literally side by side here, Matt, both sitting in the 3rd lane of their respective lines. Or 3rd row, I should say, their respective lines. Right now, the 321 just a nose ahead over the 27. But then you'll see through the turns, the 27 will probably nose back ahead. And yeah, it's tight between these guys right now.
You know what? I'm not going to say anything, Gael, because you know about that.
We're not going to do anything commentators curses.
You know, you just said it.
But we won't say anything about it.
I didn't. I will say that thing.
And let's say you got the brothers, they're rolling the apron, they're unintentionally there for just a second. That was a little scary for them, but they are good to go.
That was your fault.
As 7 clears the inside line, he's going to jump to the bottom. That's going to now let Rick here get to the top line with help from Brian Grimm. That's really good news for Brian because, once again, that's going to allow him to have a little bit more leverage, hopefully, over that 27 truck of Steve Krosek. And you see they're also now about to put the 17 of Frank Ranger Jr., I think, 2 laps down after his that contact he had earlier there. That made him lose the draft. So right now, same things. That 17 truck needs to try to cut it left here, right behind Hondo, steal that draft so he can hang on to these guys. We'll see if he can hopefully do so. And I think what we're seeing right now is also to mention here is, remember how Hondo Longmire and Jacob Lee and company, they're the earliest drivers to hit pit road. I think they're saving fuel this time around to hopefully go that. Whoa, contact with the brothers.
Oh boy, that's a yellow.
Yeah, cautions out. More trucks involved here. And I think they just weren't quite clear of each other. Unfortunately, you see the 32, you saw the 54. I think Mike Rimkus also involved in the 79. And first caution is out lap 29. And I think it was just an honest mistake. I think they were trying to clear each other, work together in that draft. And I think they just got hooked on one another there. So that's a tough break for the brothers here. Let's go back a little bit. Let's take a closer look here. We're going to focus on Patrick and Seth. And you can see we'll focus on the 32 here of Seth Groover.
You are exactly right, Kyle.
And I think, because from what I would say, I kind of caught it at the corner of my eye. And I think right here, Seth's, all right, I'm clear. But what I don't think Seth realized was Patrick was already getting pushed by the 5 of Richard Sanchez. And he already had the momentum back going his way. And then you'll see the 79 here in just a moment here. The 54 slides down the track. Oh, also a bit of a contact for the 22 there, you see. Not too bad, it doesn't look like for him. But then we mentioned Mike Rimkus, though. He took a pretty solid shot there, unfortunately, as well. And then good hands here by the 48 truck, it looked like. Ryan Decker saw that truck pretty dead sideways, but hung on to it. So, yeah, it's a tough break, like I said. And again, it was nothing intentional, just unfortunately a push gone wrong, and a move gone wrong, where Richard was pushing the truck in front of him, which is what you do at Talladega. But the issue was the fact that the 32 just didn't realize how much momentum the 54 was about to have. So Tough break for those guys. That's going to bring the field here to our first yellow and right at lap number 30, Matt. So not quite halfway, but I think we're going to see a lot of trucks hit pit road. And actually, Richard's going to stay out here. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's not Richard. That was a different truck there. I mixed up. Steve Krosik's going to stay out. Yeah, I think the whole field's going to roll into pit road. And so here's an interesting thing you can do, Matt, at Talladega, which I know you're familiar with. I say Gabe is one that showed this to me before, where if you want to kind of get an easy lap lead, you just roll right through pit road, get your lap lead, and then hit pit road next time. And I think we just saw Ryan Decker do exactly that. I think he just rolled through pit road. He led that lap there, and I expect to see Ryan Decker on pit road the next time. So now he's got that lap lead in his pocket, get that bonus point, and then he can go back to racing here with over halfway down. So we'll do, Matt. Let's step away for a moment. Let's show off our wonderful sponsor with 4D Racewear. Again, they are going to be giving away a pair of gloves to a random driver from each of the 3 series we broadcast here on Green White Checker TV at Area 51, as long as they participate in at least 10 of the 12 races. So we'll be right back, and stay tuned.
4D Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 4D racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 4dracewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim.
Alright, so lights are off of the pace truck, and as we suspected, we saw Ryan Decker hit pit road. Looks like 4 tires and fuel for the 48 truck. Also had some of those guys that started from pit road as well go ahead and hit pit road and top off as well. Kevin Freese, Patrick Gruber, Vicente Guerrero, Gabe Butler, Eric Laurie, Sebastian Marin, and Steve Krosek was the lucky dog in the 27 truck. So he is going to be back on the lead lap. That's a great break for Steve there. And so that's going to leave Brian Grimm and Joe Della Vecchia, 2 of the drivers, I believe, to fight for their lucky dog to get back on the lead lap. And I think we can add Seth Groover as well to that list of trucks 1 down at the moment. And yeah, that was a tough one, Mama Groover. It was just a bit of miscommunication, it sounds like, on their parts, working together, trying to kind of keep the pace up, and they were doing a great job, just saying. And the thing is, we see that in real racing too, and
Growing pains.
it's a bummer though. But again, I'll say that's where that one fast repair comes into play. So now, so they kind of have that mulligan, and they might have to kind of just back it down a little bit now to try to keep those trucks safe to the end. So we'll see. However, up front here, we're going to have James Mohan. He's going to control this race here, Matt. He's got Richard Sanchez to his outside on the front row. Then you got Jack Walls and Bud Steele, row number 2. And then row 3, full highlighter bro action, Jacob Lee and Hondo Longmire. So they are going to lead off that 3rd row. And then you got Jim Brooks and Bob Fitzgerald there in row 4. So let's go ahead and switch back. Oh, it's not full row. I left out Jason Bogart. Apologies, Jason and Jason's fans. He's in row 3, but they look like they're next to each other. And we are back to green. And actually, Patrick Gruber back on the pit road, coming to green, so maybe a pit penalty for the 54. We'll keep an eye on him. But right now, it's the 7 leading the field back through the gears into turn number 1.
Yeah, he was the last car on the tail end, so it's... Yeah, he can get down and service penalty. Probably take the minimum.
And I'm already watching some fighting for that lucky dog. You see Brian Graham, he went straight to the 3rd lane. Joe Delvecchio went right along with him. Those two are fighting for that lucky dog here, along with Seth Gruber in the 32. So that's going to be the lucky dog battle here very, very shortly. But right now, though, it's those the two lap down trucks here. They said, screw it, let's go to the 3rd lane. Let's get our laps back the old-fashioned way. We're going to work together to get to the front. So we'll keep an eye on Patrick still sitting on pit road. Lengthy pit stop so far. Not what I expected as we are 3 wide. A little bit of a bobble there for a moment. Now everybody's settled back in. And it's looking really tight right around Todd Merkel there for a moment. Now it looks like it's kind of settling in. But we're 3 by 3 here, about 4 rows deep. And yeah, it's getting a little dicier than I think a few of these guys are ready to have, as we're not even quite halfway.
Now let's see these guys, they know it's a crucial part of the race that you want to get your lap back, because you don't want to do it too little too late, because by the time then the race will be over, and it's going to be hard for these guys. But they are running 3 wide. What's it, about 5? I think about 5 rows deep. Yep.
Yeah, and if I'm in that pack, if I'm a lucky dog truck, I'm saying, you know what? I'm gonna see if I can just get it by avoiding the wreck. But so far, all 3 of the lap down trucks are right in the thick of this. Like I said, Brian Grimm right now, he is pushing the 21 of Jacob Lee on the 3rd lane. Joe Delvecchio is right behind him, and then you got Seth Gruber right there with Joe Delvecchio. So they're not just leading a chance. They, like you said, they want to get up there and go for it themselves. But up front, though, Jack Wall's getting a great push from James Mohan. I saw Jack jump to the middle lane. He's going to clear. Oh, he's got to decide which lane he wants. He's going to probably have to commit bottom. Yeah, he does have to commit bottom there. He'll pick up a great pusher from the 5. But yeah, and that's the other thing is sometimes when you make those moves, you've got to stay committed. You can't.
Look at that 3rd lane guy out.
They're coming. Jacob Lee's going to maybe try to lead this lap.
He is. But that goes like Delvecchia and who is that? The 32 Seth Gruber out there?
Yep, Seth's not backing it down. And oh my goodness, that's the 3 lap down trucks all together right now on the outside line.
Yeah, these guys don't want an incident. It will hurt their chances of getting a lap back. But it looks like Seth is giving him a great push down the backstretch.
And now there's not a lot of time to cool your trucks here, Matt, because you don't have any room to kind of drift off and do anything to kind of get your temps down. So the only way you're going to be able to cool your truck down is to lift a little bit, and then that lane's going to slow down a ton. As we're going to go 4 wide now through the trial, but this is going to be close. Bud Steele rolls out of it, lets the 21 in there. Great awareness by Bud Steele. And that allows the 321 to clear that middle lane. Now he's at the very edge of the tail end lead lap. Now back to 1 down as Jack Walls gets back around him. You see Patrick Gruber there. He sees the field coming through right. He goes straight to the apron. That's a really good call there by him. And he can run the apron here pretty quickly as well if he needs to through the turns at Talladega. Daytona, not so much. So we'll probably see him do that as a huge move. They got to decide all contact. Joe Delvecchio sliding. Right now it's just the 052. He's going to save it. We're going to stay green, It looks like. He just came across the nose of Jack Walls. I don't think any intense there. Just everything was closing up super quickly. Oh, my goodness. That was close. But we stay under green. James Mohan now leading with help from Seth Gruber. And now we're starting to see some of the guys that were cruising in the back early on, starting from the pits. The first of which to make their faces shown here, Kevin Freeze in that 25 truck.
Oh man! Look who I see in that 3rd lane.
It's the Limitless boys.
They're making their way up toward the front.
Yeah, Vicente's there, Sebastian's there, Cody's in there, Mr. Krosek is in there. So yeah, they've got a good crew here together. Those four trucks together. You see Seth here, he's going to try to jump, but Kevin Freeze doesn't go with him. He stays with James Mohan. That's going to drop the 32 truck a couple truck lengths back here. Big push from Brian Grimm, though, entering turn number 1. But here comes Sebastian Marin running that third lane as we just cross the halfway point.
You know, I did some little bit of fuel calculations, so it's going to be 2, maybe 3 stops right now. There'll be 2 stops and maybe about 6 laps short.
So yeah, maybe 2 and a splash or so.
Yeah.
As you saw, Sebastian Marin did the elevator there, top to the bottom. Once he was clear, he jumps in now. He's going to try to see if he can lead his first lap of the race. Say again, these guys, they start from the pits, didn't gain as much as maybe we expected, or maybe even they expected. Oh, big wiggles there by the James Mohan there in the 7. But again, though, the 32 and the 321, they're not giving up. They're still fighting hard to try to get their laps back here. Unfortunately, it's with that big slide by Joe Della Vecchia. And look at Sebastian. He's trying to protect the outside line. But look at the 32. He's going to go with him. Sebastian straight back to the bottom. These guys do realize we got like half the race left, right?
Yeah. Yeah. They're at it.
Oh, no.
That's got to be a caution.
Oh, Honda Longmire, nowhere he could go. Tried to find a way through. Big contact between him and the 7. I saw another truck involved as well in that incident there, but Honda's front clip is gone. I think, yeah, he's going to take that thing straight to pit road, get that fast repair in, I think, and then try to get back. Oh, if he can, that truck will not turn. You can see the left front's just not at all connected anymore. That, oh, man. It just, you could see the aggression, and it was just it felt like it was just a matter of time there. But let's go back here, Matt. Let's take another look at this one here, and we'll focus on that number 7 of James Mohan. And like I said, they were slicing and dicing, and he gets to the front there. Then he's going to make that jump to the bottom, trying to go with the 32. But the 32 is already there. Nothing that Seth could do in that moment. And then, unfortunately for James, it's just you can't do anything here. You're in the grass. You're not going to be able to control it. And so he slides right up into the path of Honda Longmire. Oh, it's Mike Rimkus in the 79 truck as well. Nowhere for Mike to go. Just drives kind of right up and under. So he'll have some damage from that as well. But it looks like, once again, though, these guys behind, really good job getting down on the binders here. He's getting slowed down and not getting any bigger. I mean, that was in front of the field, so hats off to the drivers for avoiding that as well as they did there. And then the other thing, Matt, that is kind of crucial for all this, Seth Groover, at the time of that caution, he was ahead of the leaders, so he got his lap back the old-fashioned way, so he's back on the lead lap, which I believe has also given the wave around to Brian Grimm, I believe, because he's already working his way around the pace car. Got a little bit of confusion here because I see Brian going around as well, but then I just saw Patrick go around the pace car, so we'll have to see what's going on that front here. So we'll let that get sorted out. Bud Steele looks like he's going to win the race off of pit road. So while they get reorganized, let's step away one more time, show off our wonderful sponsor, 40 Racewear. So stay tuned. We'll be back at the one to go.
40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim.
right, lights are off of the pace truck, and so my poor math is working numbers, and I believe we will be good to go with one more stop here to the end, if it doesn't go into overtime green, white, checkered. We're going to restart this thing with 32 laps to go when we hit the green flag. That should then be able to split this race into 16-lap increments. These guys should be able to go 17 laps for sure per tank. So I think based on that, everybody should be able to make it from here to the scheduled distance. However, again, there are potential for 3 attempts of a green, white, checkered. That will completely change the potential of how things shake out. So we'll see. Right now, our leader is Bud Steele. To his outside is Jack Walls. Third place is Todd Merkel. In fourth is Jim Brooks there. Right now, Jim showing as the highest climber with 23 positions gained. And you got Corey Buskirk and Jeremy Osborne there in row number 3. Carl Lingle, Rick Sanchez there in row 4. And then rounding out the top 10, you have Jason Bogart and Jacob Lee. And then it looks like from Cody Nagels in the 06 on back, these drivers all topped off on the 1 to go. So we'll keep an eye, see if that extra bit of fuel plays a difference or not. However, we're going to head back now to our starter. Let's go ahead and switch over to him. Let's watch here. Again, now the leader has control of this restart, but I suspect we'll see everybody go on green here. That way they can try to keep the field bunched up behind him. As you'll see, green flag flies, and we are back underway here. 32 to go at the line. Bud Steele, Jack Walls leading field back to the grid. Right now, a good start for the inside line, but I think we're going to see a surge from the outside here out of 2. That's usually what we wind up seeing. And sure enough, you can see the 83 Jack Walls getting a bit of a push from Jim Brooks, who's getting a push from Jeremy Osborne. And that is surging the outside line just to the edge as they hit turn number 3. Look at Gabe Butler. He's ready to have some fun here. He's going to try to jump to the top of the 3rd lane. Ooh, Seth Gruber, late move to the top, but he's going to try to hop in front, bring Kevin Freeze along with him. And I see a few trucks here hitting pit road. Looks like a lot of pit road penalties here. I saw Cody Nagels is in there, Steve Krosek, Brian Grimm. Not sure what happened for those guys. Possibly some penalties for passing under yellow or things like that. I say, unfortunate things. I don't know as we're broadcasting. As the admins will be able to they'll be the ones that are managing that. However, you saw Jim Brooks clear Jack Walls. He gets to the bottom lane here. He's now going to try to see maybe he can lead a lap. But right now, look at Seth Gruber, Gabe Butler. They have pushed clear. They pushed 3 trucks clear. They're going to jump all to the middle to the bottom. Gabe's going to jump all the way to the bottom here. Gabe's ready to party here. I'll say he said, I've ridden around enough. I'm ready to get to the front. Gabe's clock says it's go time.
Oh, I see what happened here. 27, I guess he did not have penalty.
He's just being a good teammate.
Yeah, being a good teammate for Cody, because Cody did have a black flag there.
Yeah, so it's tough. I say there's so one thing to mention though is you see a little bit of wobble there. Oh, the 41 is just on the right rear of the 32. He had to go to the 3rd lane, otherwise he was going to right hook that 32 truck. And he saw the 54 there starting to peak. Oh, there's contact. Trucks around. Oh, big hits. There's the caution. Caution is out. Oh no, let's say the 7's involved, the 54 and the 41 all involved in this one.
Oh man.
That's
tough break for Jeremy there.
Yeah, well, we'll go back. We'll take another look at this one. But it just, everything was coming up super quickly there. And like I said, for a split second there, it looked like Jeremy was about to even get into the 32. So he had to jump top. And I think that momentum, just you can already see that it's already been checked up. So let's go back a little further here and we can kind of show it better. So right here, you can see he's already off center there. Now we'll jump back here and go current with it. So there we'll get a better look at this. So you can see the 41-32. He gets a little bit off center, tries to correct it, but in the correction there, you can see he gets to the right rear of the 32 truck. The problem is if he cuts right back left here, he's gonna spin the 32 into the outside wall. So he does what he has to do here, which is jump to the 3rd lane. But again, at this point, his momentum is completely gone, and that brings Patrick in with a huge head of steam here. And again, it's just that momentum shift, unfortunately, and we'll watch as it kind of continues on here. And we'll see Patrick gives just a little bit, looks like just a little bump to the 41. Again, we're running really slow-mo, but that pushes the 41 up the track, and then actually, yeah, into the wall. That slows his momentum down more. That catches him into the 54. Carl Engel gets hit on the side just a little bit. Little contact for Richard Sanchez, not too bad, though. And then from there, though, these guys all just, unfortunately, get caught up in the Eric Laurie actually looks like he gets a slight piece of it as well. James Mohan, that was a big hit, though, for that 7 truck to the outside wall, and I believe he's already had to use his fast repair, so James may be in a tough spot here. But so that puts us back under yellow, and I think here, Matt, actually, it looks like Jack Wall's going to stay out, the only truck staying out. Great break for Cody Nagels and those trucks that got that pit road penalty. So this is a great opportunity for them. They're able to kind of get back settled with that, and it looks like the 28 of Nick Wing is going to get, I believe, one of his laps back.
Yeah.
I think he was he 2 down prior, or?
Yes, he was 2 down prior.
So yeah, so he's just 1 down now, which I think is going to put him on par with Brian Grimm and James Mohan. We'll keep an eye on that. You see Mike Grimm has some pretty good damage to that 79 truck. He's hitting pit road now. And it looks like Gabe Butler, Sebastian Marin, I think they just drove through pit road, so I don't think they pitted. I think Jim Brooks is going to be the first to actually hit pit road in the 51 truck. So we'll see how that shakes out once more here. But once again, say not a lot to bring up on this yellow. So, Matt, let's step away one more time here. We'll be back here in just a moment with the 1 to go.
.40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. .40 racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim.
All right, so we are back in little mixed strategy. Jack Walls, though, Matt, he's kind of the odd man out here. He did not pit. The only one who did not pit, so he pitted at 41. Everybody behind him here from second with Richard Sanchez, Bud Steele, to Jeremy Osborne, they pitted at 47. And then Seth Groover on back here topped off and pitted at 48. So he's about 6 laps off of these guys. So the thing is, he's good on fuel to do a one-stopper still, but he's going to have to put more fuel in than these guys around him.
Yep, it's going to be more time on pit road, and he better stay up more toward the front. And if he falls back to the back, he's going to be deep trouble.
Yeah, I won't lie, a little nervous about the strategy here, but at the same time, though, I feel like there's been a lot of times that Jack's had a lot of really good strategy calls, be it working the fuel numbers, saving, or kind of not pitting. So we'll wait and see. Like I said, Jack's proved me wrong plenty of times. So we'll see how it shakes out. We've got a very long single file line, like we mentioned. It's going to kick off with Seth Gruber, Vicente Guerrero, and it's going to go all the way back here to Eric Laurie. So these guys are needing to try to stay tight with the leaders here on this restart, make sure they do not lose the draft. But up front, though, it's going to be Jack Walls and Bud Steele leading this restart with 26 to go. And like we talked about, Matt, at this point now, there's no question we can make it to the end on one more stop. I think we can make it to the end even with green-white checkers from here if they run this one out to the end. So we'll wait and see. I'll say we still got plenty of racing to go, just about a third of it left to go.
Thanks,
as
Boomer.
they hit that restart zone. And we are back and underway, and a great start by Jack Walls there. He's going to get a pretty good nose ahead here of Bud Steele. This is going to give him an opportunity here, but actually locked on quickly, though, is that 21 of Jacob Lee. So great start by Jacob getting right to the back. And look at those three teammates there right behind Bud. He's got to be careful. He might get ganged up on here.
I think he is.
Yeah, there they go. You can see Jacob pokes there. There goes Hondo. There goes the 10 of Jason Bogart.
Yeah, I think. Ooh.
But look at the middle lane, though. Here comes the 32.
Yeah. They're going to get ahead of him. Look, they're going to push Bud Steele in, and they are going to send back that third lane because Hondo Lamo did not get to the back of his teammate. And Gallo, look at the end result. Look how all those cars are flying by.
We got Brian
Looks
Grimm
like
here
we have-
pitting. Yeah. So maybe another pit penalty, unfortunately. Oh, my goodness. Saw a big wiggle there by the 48 there. Ryan Decker, he hangs on to it, but we're getting dicey again here, man. Again, we still got 25 to go, but we're 3x3 here, about 5 rows deep, it looks like. As Corey Buzzkirk's trying to lead the middle lane. Now you got Bud Steele leading the outside lane. Jack Walls at the bottom. I'm glad that if I'm Hondo and Jacob and them, I'm glad that didn't work out because I don't want to be up here right now.
No, me neither. Well, since he likes to listen to the broadcast, hey, Jacob, you did a good thing. See my rack. Be careful.
stay back. It's scary up there. But no, up front, though, I say just for a moment it was Corey Buzzkirk, but now look at the big push. Vicente Guerrero, he's going to take the point here in that number 14 truck. He's got Bud Steele to his outside. He is clear from the bottom, but I think he's waiting to jump. Now the two of them do clear. They both jump down together. That's going to open up the middle for Bud Steele to jump down, and now he's going to get help from the 06 there of the Chevrolet. So working trying to get the right contingencies here. Of Cody Nagels, as Cody's going to push him forward, but that left Seth all by his lonesome on the outside line here, and he drops back a number of spots. Oh, caution's out. I'm looking to see where. I don't know where. Everything looks good to me, Matt. I don't know if you saw anything. Mike Rink is hitting pit road. But yeah, caution's out here. Not sure where or why. But caution is back out. And that is going to bring the field back together here. And I think that's going to be a good break for Brian Grimm, as he's going to catch back up to the field here. And I think also a good break for Bob Fitzgerald, I'm not mistaken. I'm going to try to see if we can see what happened. I don't show anything on the ticker. I just see yellow flag. So we'll go back and we'll check. And say it's just focused on Nick Wing, but I don't think. Yeah, you can already see the cautions out. And I don't know. I don't see anything. It may have been a misclick. Something may have happened, but whatever it was, we're under yellow here. We'll say iRacing is testing out the rain physics, and maybe there's a little bit of rain moisture that went onto the track, and that was the reason of the yellow. But this opens pit road back up, and I do think we'll see probably the majority of the field in. And I'm looking for Jack. There's Jack. Jack did lose a few spots there under that green flag, but I think this is a good call here, getting back on cycle. And a great break for some drivers here like that 28. We just saw Nick Wing swing up and around. I believe we'll see if Nick winds up being the lucky dog or not. I think it's already actually the 79 of Mike Rimkiss. So I think that puts Mike back on the lead lap. And actually, I'm looking for... just trying to double check where everybody is on track here to get our timing and scoring sorted. But I think Mike Rimkus back on the lead lap with this. I think Nick Wing as well back on the lead lap. And I think Brian Grimm will go from 2 down back to 1 down, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he's going to go back to 1 down. And so we'll have 22 trucks on the lead lap here. And then we will have, I believe, Brian Grimm just 1 down. And then we got Kevin Freese, Gabe Butler. Looks like lengthier pit stops for them. But I'm wondering if they're doing some admin work in the background here, possibly maybe the reason for their long pit stops. So I'm going to step away, see if we can figure out what's going on. Double check with the powers that be. And we'll be back here on the 1 to go. So stay tuned. We'll restart with 20 to go.
40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim.
All right, you just saw the 321 there, Brian Grimm. He is going to wave around, so he will go from 2 to 1 down. And yeah, it looks like it was a, we'll call it a phantom caution. So nothing happened on track, just let's say it looks like just kind of a mistaken button press of a caution. Happens from time to time, but anyway, though, it doesn't really change much, honestly. Again, we were going to restart with 26 to go earlier on that last restart. Now we're going to restart with 20 to go. Can anybody fuel save 20 laps to the end is going to be the question. I don't think it's possible.
Actually, technically, it's going to be 19 when they go green.
No,
actually,
we'll be 20 to go at the line.
About 20 to go?
Yeah.
No.
So this opens up a lot of opportunities now, Matt. It could be where, okay, I want to pit as soon as I can with my buddies, and if a caution comes out, we stay out. I want to wait and pit as late as I can, save fuel the whole time, and take the least amount of fuel that I can to get to the end. There's multiple strategies that could come into play here, so it's going to be interesting to see which is the choice of the drivers. I was pretty sure. I think Jack Walls actually, I think timing and scoring might be a little screwy for Jack, because it's showing he last pitted at 41, and I know I saw him hit pit road there, so my stuff is maybe having a little bit of technical difficulties too. So I believe he pitted at 53 with everybody else. It looks like 54 topping off is Rick Sanchez on back. So we'll see here, though. 20 to go here at the line. It's going to be the 83 and the 14 row 1, 648 row 2, and the 998 22 row 3. Just waiting for that Geico restart zone. And there it is, and we are back underway here. 20 to go at the line. Jack Walls leads field back to the green. So my eyes will be peeking at the boys that started from pit road. I will be very intrigued to see if they decide, you know what, let's try to do something different than everybody else. I want to see if they jump in once they feel like they're safely in their window. Let's say maybe 14 or so to go. Look at the 22, Todd Merkel. He's going to jump to the top, but the thing he doesn't realize, that car that was right behind him, the truck that was right behind him, was the teammate of that 14 truck that's never going to work. So Todd Merkel's going to drop a few places there in that 22. Vicente Guerrero going to lead the outside. Cody Nagel's giving him a great push here down the back. Add Richard Sanchez to the mix. You know that's going to be a great trio there working together. And sure enough, Vicente's going to lead this lap in that 14. Clears the 83, but I think he wants to clear with Cody here. So wait till they both clear, and there they go, lockstep.
There they go.
That is the example of very, very good teammates who know exactly what they want to do in communication with each other, and they were able to execute that perfectly. And we've seen that from a number of times in this series, and I'll say Cody and Vicente are two of the best at it.
We got the tale of two races, guy. I'm sitting here watching everybody. You got Cody and Vince are just balls to the walls, you know, put to the floor, don't care, just push stuff, however. But I'm looking for further toward the back, who are guys who trying to make that 20 fuel number.
Yeah, and I'd say one of them is Mr. Fuel Mileage, Kevin Freeze. He loves fuel mileage races. So we'll be curious to see what his plan is, because we are at 18 to go. But I mean, we talked about it though. They restarted with 20 to go. We know that everybody. We saw that first time. I think everybody pitted around 17, 18 laps. That's 2 extra laps on top of the 18. That's a lot to say.
That is a lot. That is a lot. I think they decided to say the heck with it, because look, now they're starting to move up their way forward now.
Yeah, so maybe they're just trying to get themselves reorganized, possibly. But yeah, like I said, there's definitely 2 options here for how you want to make this strategy. Do you pit early and have some guys to work with you, like we saw the Bootknockers try to do it from starting with the pits? Or do you just run long? Because there's pros and cons there really to both of them. Because if you can break away from the field and you know you're faster, I mean, that's perfect, because then you pit, you're good to the end, and then you're going to pass everybody under yellow when they all hit pit road. Or you run longer, you save some fuel in the process, and then you put a little less fuel in, shorter pit stop, and then maybe you cycle in the front that way. So there's really 2 ways you can approach this. I mean, you can, of course, split it in the middle as well, but I'm kind of just giving the full extremities, if you will, for which options you have, full extremes on it. I'm usually one that likes to wait to pit. So like I'd be saving right now, and then take the least amount of fuel I could to the end.
But Kyle, you got them green white checkers.
It's a gamble, yeah.
Yeah, that's the kicker.
And that's the thing though, is I mean, if I'm gonna gamble, I'm probably gonna gamble full on and say, you know what? I'm going to gamble that we make it to the end under regulation, and that's it. But look at Sebastian. Look at Kevin Freeze. So much momentum. They took it to the 3rd lane. But look at the 27. Steve Crow's like, he saw it. Like, yeah, don't mind if I do. I'll take that momentum as well. And they are just charging to the front. I think the 2 of them
They're going to clear 2, but I'm not sure about the 3rd. It's not clear yet.
Kevin can't clear. He wanted to, but he knew he couldn't. He stayed in line. He's going to try to see if he can sneak in behind Brian.
He's got his teammate behind him, though. He's got Gabe Butler, so he can get to his rear end there. So, Gael, I'll be pitting with 12, at least about 12 to go.
12? Okay.
About 12 to go, take it full fuel, no tires. And that way you fill it all the way up, and you have enough fuel for green white checker.
For all 3, yeah. And that's the question. Like these guys, I mean, they've got the numbers. Like they'll know. Like, hey, this is the lap we can pit. We'll be able to save under yellow. We'll have enough for all 3 green white checkers. They know it to a T, and it's insane how good they are at it. And yeah, it could be a 12 to go. It could be 13, 14 to go. But right now, though, I don't see enough people organized together where they can actually make a green flag pit stop. So I don't think it's gonna be coming soon, because yes, you've got Cody and Vicente together. Well, actually, no, you don't anymore, because Vicente's on top. I wasn't even noticing that for a second. All right, so now you've got Vicente, Cody, and Sebastian on the inside line. But I feel like they're going to want to have Steve with them. I feel like they're going to want to have Kevin, Gabe, Eric. They're going to want to have the crew. Like, the more trucks you have, the better. In case someone makes a mistake, you don't not have enough trucks. So I think right now these guys will run long, which then brings us to other team options. All right, so who do we go to next? Well, let's look at Hondo and Jacob and Richard. They're all right there together. They could work together here. They've been working with the Groovers, but I don't see right now the Groovers with them. You look at Roswell with Jim and company. They're a little further back, so I wouldn't want to pit early if I'm in the back. So I think right now these guys look like they're going to just run as far as they can, unless... Oh, my goodness. So that's close between... Even teammates, and they're squeezing each other. I mean,
Yeah, I know.
it's just... It's dicey right now.
Yeah, these guys want to win.
This has been great racing. Look at Kevin. He's blocking Sebastian now. Sebastian trying to go middle. Oh, they're not quite. Oh, my.
Now we're four wide.
We are 4 wide. Hopefully someone's going to roll out of it. But right now, no takers yet. You saw Todd Merkel. He dropped in. Eric's going to try to give room back to 3 wide. Oh, my goodness. Look at these guys go.
Oh, my God. Wow. Good
Oh,
car
man.
control, guys. Really good.
As it tells you, now we're back to 2 wide here. Kevin's going to clear Vicente. He drops down low. Now now Sebastian is going to have Steve behind him. And you see, you got Seth kind of in the...
You know what Seabass is going to do.
Go fast?
Cut in front of Kevin here and on the back strip.
I think Seabass is going to want to wait until he gets Steve cleared, too. I don't think he's going to leave Steve hanging.
Steve's got a good pusher behind him.
There's a pretty good group in that second lane. Not wrong. But so far,
Because
still
Mama
no
Gruber
takers,
wants to
Matt.
see Mama wants to see Seth Gruber in victory lane. And we
All
do
right,
have
here's-
some takers.
Is Jack,
like Jack
Walls,
Walls.
but by himself here, man.
That's gonna hurt so bad.
And I'm wondering, is that as far as he could go again? I talked about that the timing of scoring didn't show that he had pitted. I thought he did. So I'm a little intrigued by that one. But yeah, having him come in and out by himself is going to be really tough here. Really, his best opportunity was, say, again, don't want to come to his curse, but a yellow would be Jack's best friend right now because he'd be the only one and he would cycle to the front.
Wow. They are pinching each other. Look at the 25 and the 27. 27 is pinching the 25 on the white line. Oh my God.
And Kevin has been locked on Sebastian here. He's got to be careful not to get that truck too hot.
Yeah, I know.
The thing is, though, as hard as they're racing here, I have a feeling that if these guys are had their webcams on or whatever, there'd be giant smiles behind each of these guys' faces because they love racing this hard with each other, but trusting one another to be able to do exactly this.
Yeah, that's why they far better than us, Kyle.
Oh no, I'm just in the booth because they wanted me to stop winning.
Yeah, they didn't.
Ooh, man, Kevin,
They're pushing the boundaries there, but they saved it.
Oh my goodness, these guys! I'd almost be ready to just jump on a pit road now, but no, still no takers. Just Jack so far, the only one on pit road. And again, he has no drafting help, so he's unfortunately going to lose this pack. The only saving grace for Jack would be, like you said, Matt, would be a caution before the leaves get to him, because then they all have to pit, and he would cycle around it back in front of them. But I still wonder, though, is anybody going to try to just completely drain their tank of fuel and try to make it to the end here? Can anybody just sip fuel here this last fuel run? But we're starting to single out now.
I don't think so. I'm watching most of the guys. They are dropping to the first lane here. I wonder who's going to pit here. When are they going to pit, Kyle?
Probably now.
Yep, now.
How about now? That sounds like a good idea. And it's pretty much the field, and oh my goodness, it's everybody minus, looks like Jim Brooks and maybe one or two others.
Those guys are going to have to pit next time if they
Jim's,
want to have a chance to win.
Yeah, Jim's got to jump in this time around. Now everybody's got to try to make their pit stalls no contact with each other. Don't overshoot your pit stalls. I didn't see anybody up front reverse, so great job by all these drivers. That cycles Jim to the front, but Matt, he's got help, but it's too far away from him. He's got the 17, he's got the 08, but they're too far ahead. He's got a little bit of draft off of Mike Rimkus in the 79. So it may not hurt him as bad, but he's got to take a few risks here. He's got to run this thing through into pit road as fast as he can. Take a gamble you might speed and hope that he comes back out with the draft here, because yeah, that unfortunately just was not the extra lap he was hoping for.
No, because only him and like 4 of the guys could happen. They're all widely spaced out. Speaking of widely spaced out, Richard Sanchez, it looks like Eric Laurie, and looks like Ryan Decker are 3 cars that I don't know if they'll catch up to that main pack or not. But Rick's going to need a push from Eric Laurie back there. And there's a couple other guys that are just sitting there by 2x2. But, man, they're going to have to do something to at least have a chance to shot to pick up the win here.
Yeah, you saw them. The field is blue by
close.
Jim. Yeah, so
Yep,
he's going to need a yellow to get back in this.
Yeah.
And right now, as it looks, honestly, 8th on back are going to need a yellow to get back into this. The way the tickers are going, because you've got our top 7 on the ticker. They're building the gap on Rick Sanchez, Eric Laurie, Ryan Decker. So, and then same thing, Todd Merkel and them are about 2 seconds back, and it just kind of continues to grow from there. So we're single digits here, Matt. Next time by is going to be 6 to go. Again, I'm just looking now where the 83 of Jack Walls is. He's just now exiting turn 2 while the leaders are about to enter the tri-oval. That's
Dang.
how much time he lost by just pitting by himself there. But so now, where do the alliances lie? I feel like Sebastian Mayer and Steve Krosek, I think that's one alliance. Vicente Guerrero, Cody Nagels, I think that's the second alliance. And then Kevin Freeze, Gabe Butler is third. And then you got Seth Groover. I think he's just
the
gonna
odd man out.
It's like, I'll push whoever, man. Just give me something to push, and then I'll try to make a move on the last lap. Go for it. So we'll see. But I'm still, you know what? I'm not going to count Rick out here. They've actually kind of somehow lost Ryan Decker, but
They're actually gaining
that gap is going the right way here. So
yeah,
let's add. We might be adding Rick Sanchez, and Eric Laurie into this mix there. Great job by these two staying dedicated to each other. And yeah, he's just about to pick up the toe here as we are 5 to go. And that 5 truck, add him to the list here. He is going to get into this draft. He was 0.4 of a second quicker. Great job, Richard Sanchez, Eric Laurie. They're in the mix here. So mom and dad, they're cheering him on. Bubba Windingham, he's popping in here. He's cheering Rick on as well. Love to see Bubba in here. Appreciate you, man. I say, been fun racing with you every so often over at OP, and hope you're doing well, sir.
he just ran his fastest lap of the race that last time by too.
He did, yeah. But yeah, so we're down to it though, Matt. So 5 to go. It is now a 9 truck battle for the win. So you can add Eric Laurie to the Bootmacher group, and then I think for the 32 truck, I think this is the opportunity that he needs. I think he and Rick could work together potentially, as we're now down to 4 to go. When do you make your move?
The question, when?
I don't know. Do you wait till the last lap because you want to make sure that you don't get a late yellow? Which, let's go back. Let's look at the other groups here, because we got to check them out. Here's Corey Buskirk, Jacob Lee. You've got Todd Merkel, Bud Steele there, as well as Ryan Decker. They're all running lockstep, pretty calm. This group's a little dicier here. Carl Lingle, you got Jim Brooks, Jeremy Osborne, Jason Bogart, Nick Wing, Honda Longmire. They're 2x2. They're pushing pretty hard. So this is where you always get a little nervous. And then also got to mention, Matt, last time by, fastest truck on track was Richard Sanchez.
Here's the problem I have. So, I know Richard and Seth are in the same Discord, but where does Eric Laurie lie? I know he's with the.
He'll be with Kevin and Gabe.
The problem is when they. Wow, it's gonna be so hard for. See, look, they go to the top and look.
But yeah, Eric will stay low. Yeah.
Is Eric's gonna stay low. Maybe go high. Maybe.
Eric's peaking top with him. I mean, again, it's also good for him because he needs to build his momentum back up. But you can see the pace is so quick right now up front that they jumped up top, but they couldn't go anywhere. So,
yeah,
you can see it once again here. The 32 is peaking up. Now look, here's everybody starting to make the moves now. Coming to 2 to go. Now everybody's jumped around. He saw the 14. He jumped up. The 6 went with him. 88 went with him. 32 and the 5 are up top. So now the moves are starting to be made. Here's Gabe. He's going to go back to Kevin Freeze. That's going to bring Eric Laurie along with him. Look at the big block by Steve Kurosek. He slows that outside's momentum there. That's going to put he and Sebastian Marin side by side. There's going to be some big blocks here in this next lap and a half, Matt. But they got to wait. I think you got to wait, get by Jack Walls, and then start making these moves here.
Yeah, poor Jack Walls.
That's a tough one. I'm saying that again. I think it may have just been the pit strategy gone wrong, but look at the pinching. They're back to it here. It's 25-27 again, just squeezing on each other here. Sebastian's going to jump up top here, pick up his teammate. That's going to give the boot knockers the inside line here. You've got the Dale Cup on the middle leading that lane. Wait for Limitless. They're going to go eventually here with the 14 and the 06.
Here we go.
White flag is out, Matt. Yeah, you're right. Here we go. This is it to the end. Sebastian back to the bottom in front of Kevin. What can they do here?
Where is the third lane? Is it going to come into play? I'm just waiting for it. Who's going to be the first to try it?
I feel like it's got to be Cody and Vicente. I think they're going to wait. They're going to wait through the trial.
Yeah, they probably are.
You got to time it here. So we'll see. They're through 3 and 4. You can see these trucks wiggling. They're just completely locked onto each other here. They're trying to find a way to push any lane further so they have a chance to get to the front. Oh, gave a little bit of contact. They hang on to it. Watch the 14. He's going to probably make a move. Oh, big wiggle. There he goes. He's going to jump to the top there, but Cody's going to stay middle.
No,
big push, Sebastian. Oh, contact. He's going to spin her out, but he's going to get the win.
Oh, saved the car.
Oh, Gabe, unfortunately, I think he got the worst of it. Oh, he hung on to it too. Sebastian's still sliding. He doesn't make wins look exciting, that's for sure. But it's going to be Sebastian Marin getting the win over Steve Korosek, Kevin Freeze, Cody Nagels, Gabe Butler, a top 5. Let's go back one more time. We'll run through the start-finish line here. And I say we'll run slow-mo there at the end. What a finish, though. I say just got a little off-centered on the outside line. And then what I was surprised about here was Vicente going top, but I feel like Cody just, if he did, he was going to left hook him. So I think Cody said, I got to stay middle here. That's the only thing I can do. And then right here, I think Kevin drifts up just a tiny bit. No, actually, that doesn't affect anything. Yeah, so Seabass just gets super loose off of the 25 truck. And then at the line, you can see they're just about there. Here's a better angle of it. And yeah, there you can see right there. Still sideways, he crosses line in front of the 27, 25. And then, like I said, the 06, the 88. And then it looks like the 14, 32, 071. And then Richard Sanchez rounding out the 9th spot in that main pack. And it looks like Corey Buskirk, he's going to finish in the best of the rest, if you will, in 10th spot in that 998. Great job by him. But then afterwards, Sebastian just still having to try to hang on to this truck. Here you can see is still, well, I think this is just a little extra showmanship from that 23 truck, trying to do some drifts here through the infield, showing off his abilities. And just to make kind of rub salt in the wound to all the other drivers here with his win. But what we will do now is let's jump and pull up our final results for tonight before we get to our interviews. As you see, again, Sebastian Marin with the win tonight over Steve Kurosek, Kevin Freeze there, then Cody Nagels, Gabe Butler, Vicente Guerrero, Seth Groover, Eric Laurie, Rick Sanchez. They were the first pack. And then that second pack coming to the line, Corey Buskirk, Bud Steele, Jacob Lee, Ryan Decker, Todd Merkel, Carl Engel, Jeremy Osborne, Jim Brooks, Nick Wing. And then continuing down the order here, 19th position, you've got Jason Bogart and Hondo Longmire. Actually, looks like those guys actually all found each other there at the end based on the time where they were. Because, yeah, from what I'm seeing, they were all right there together. Jack Walls, unfortunately, that last pit stop, that really, really hurt him there. He finishes in 21st. Brian Grimm, Bob Fitzgerald, then Frank Ranger Jr., Mike Rimkes, James Mohan, Patrick Groover, and Joe Delavecchia. And then our final finisher tonight, unfortunately, again, had the connectivity issues, but stuck it out for a while. That was the 04 of Ambrose Nabel. All right, so with that, we got to chat with some fellas, and we are going to kick it off with our third place finisher tonight. That is going to be Mr. Kevin Freeze. And we got to find out who his best friend was tonight, Matt. So I'll say he had some helpers tonight, but I don't think he's going to feel like Sebastian was the best friend tonight. But I would guess it had to be Gabe or Eric there at the end. But man, what a race though with you guys at the end. You were able to make the pit stop strategy work. You broke away from the field, and I feel like you and Steve there were pretty much just magnets to each other a couple times there. Not even just at that final run, but you guys were kind of squeezing each other pretty tight. They're not giving each other an inch. And I was commenting where you were probably white knuckling it, but there was probably giant smiles going on while that was all happening.
Yes and no. I just didn't want to invite good old netcode into the game because we all know how that would have ruined everything for us. But yeah, it was I know when we came out of the pits, our goal was obviously to break, and Seabass and I stayed really tight for that whole run. And we were both almost at blow up temperature for the every straightaway. We would push, both of us pushing our temps all the way up to the maximum. So that gave us that little breakaway, which was pretty nice. Then we could race it out. There were 9 of us in that group. So yeah, it was a fun race tonight. Couple interesting wrecks that occurred, and yeah, fun night out here.
Yeah, it was an exciting one. Yeah, there was definitely some wild racing, trucks trying to get the laps back, and yeah, there was some big moves happening at various portions, and then and I was wondering about the temperatures too, because that was a concern, because there wasn't, like, when you guys were locked on like you were, like, you didn't have anywhere to breathe, so there wasn't, like, you couldn't drift up, because if you did, you were going to get into the side of another truck. And so, you had to kind of really figure out how to get any little bit of air, it looked like, in the front of these things.
Yeah, we're pretty good about pushing all the way to the corner, and then we back off a little bit, just because we figured out how the draft dynamic works best in order to cool, and you just got to make sure you push on the straightaways all the way to the corner, shove the person off, and then hopefully you can get it down enough that you're not getting too hot too early and then getting freight trained, because if you have to air this thing out in the middle of a straightaway, you're in a lot of trouble, especially on the bottom lane.
Yeah, no, it was, like I said, you guys were working it really, really well there, and it was a really exciting run to the end there. So just hats off. And obviously I guess the other thing to quiz you guys on was the group starting from the pits I wouldn't say it wasn't as successful, but it definitely was it wasn't as easy to get caught up to the field prior to that yellow. Was that something that you were worried about if it stayed green, or was it more of like okay, these guys have kind of stepped their game up a little bit?
I think everybody did a great job tonight. We wanted to do the pit start tonight just to have some fun, see if we could catch him. My God, that was a lot harder than we ever thought it would be, and we were kind of hoping it wouldn't be that as hard. But yeah, it was a blast. Everybody in here is getting a lot better, especially at the pit stop stuff. Like, that admin caution made it so it was a shorter stop, so it opened up. People couldn't just go with the basic, like, just fill the car up. You had to manually set your fuel if you wanted it dialed in properly, and I think that gave us a little bit of a gap, but certainly it was a fun race.
Yeah, you guys put on a really, really good show. But before we let you get to your Catalina wine mixer, definitely want to give you the floor, though, and any thanks and shouts for that podium tonight.
Yeah, thank you to you and Matt for putting on the broadcast. All the guys behind the scenes who work pretty much every day, make this league and the other 2 leagues go around. And thanks to the boys who ran with us tonight. And thank you to all the drivers who kept a pretty clean race tonight.
All right, great job, Kevin. It was a really fun one
Thanks,
tonight.
man.
Looking forward to see you again on track soon, man.
All right, have a good night.
You too, sir. All right, we're going to jump over to that truck that he was pretty much attached to at the hip there. That is going to be that 27 of Steve Korosek. And Steve, I say just talk to your other magnetee, if you will. I say because it felt like you and Kevin were just stuck to each other a bunch tonight. But I say you had to kind of come back and get your lap back and work to get back to the front. And I say you kind of didn't waste too much time getting that done there. And actually, just looking at the results right now, the top four are actually exactly where you guys qualified. So it wasn't a cut and dry start second, finish second. I mean, take us through the race because it seemed like it was pretty eventful for you.
Yeah, qualified good. I think I was top 3 or 4, and the team decided to hit start, and we didn't catch them as quickly as we thought we would. And then pit stops came up, and yeah, I ended up going a lap down there, and the leaders caught me, and I was able to hang on to the lead pack, and I was battling somebody for the lucky dog spot. And when the caution came out, I was just happened to be just ahead of the other guy, and it worked out. And I got back in the lead lap, but like you said, just waste no time. Just got hooked up with the team and tried to get to the front. And then towards the end, we were just having fun racing each other. And we came out on top, so it was a good run for the team.
Yeah, it was a really good battle. We were poking around trying, okay, where are the alliances gonna be? And it's like I kind of was like, all right, Steve and Sebastian, they'll try to work together. I kind of was thinking that Cody and Vicente would maybe try to also work something there. Although as I'm watching your truck now, I see the Dale Cup on Vicente's truck and I think on Cody's as well. So I think I may have answered my own question there. Were you guys kind of I don't know. Were you guys all in the same Discord, kind of chatting things up and kind of just talking to each other, or was it kind of you and Sebastian with Cody and Vicente, or how was that the conversation stuff going on Discord?
It's just all of us in a group, hanging out with each other, and we're always in constant communication. And we just said at the end that we were going to race it out and have fun. And I know Seabass was about to blow up behind me. He was pushing it pretty hard, and so when Vince came up with the run, I went up to give Seabass air, and I thought I was going to be able to clear back bottom, and it actually never happened. So it's just happened. It was me and Seabass door for door at the finish there. If I could keep it straight through the tri-oval, I think I might have got him.
Yeah,
So
it was
it is
close.
what it is. Yeah, it was fun. It was a good finish.
Yeah, you guys put on a really, really good fight there at the end. So no, awesome job though tonight, Steve. Always a pleasure having you here with these ones. So, but definitely want to give you the floor before we let you step out. And any thanks and shouts for that runner up tonight.
Yeah, just shout out to Area 51, and shout out to you guys in the broadcast booth, and shout out to all the drivers. And it was a fun race, and I look forward to the next one. And I know that not everybody likes my driving style, but I'm not going to change the way that I race because I don't tell anybody how to race. And I would hope that people would respect me enough to not tell me how to race. And that's it, man. Have a good night.
Well, great job, Steve. Look forward to talking to you again, sir.
Thanks.
And then we're going to switch over to our race winner who starts his victory drifts through the tri-oval and actually I should say through start finish line, and then does a little extra drift in there through turn 1 on the apron just to rub salt in the wound of all his competitors' faces there. But Seabass, you were working it tonight, man. I say you were working with everybody really. There was times you were with Kevin, with Steve, with Cody. I mean, you kind of were working all the teammates and associates, if you will, tonight. But it really took until that final pit stop for you guys to finally be able to kind of break away from the field. Was that kind of a relief after that final pit stop, or like, okay, there's 9 of us, like we don't have to worry about the other teams kind of being in it?
A relief, yeah, it was, but we stayed out there long because, to be honest, we just wanted to have fun. Like we discussed it, like, hey, we should pit as soon as we can and hopefully break up the pack. But we were having fun just racing ourselves up there out front. That's why we left it so late. But then, after that, since it was mainly us as a team left, it was a relief knowing that, it's it's guys that we know that can race, right? You feel comfortable racing each other, and we felt like we weren't gonna throw this one away. So yeah, just up there at the end, racing, trying to keep it clean and not take ourselves out and let other people win the race besides us. I think that was the main goal there at the end.
It's
But
pretty greedy.
besides that, besides that, it was a good race.
No, it was a really good race. Like, yeah, you guys put on a great show there at the end. There, like I said, I was joking that it felt like Kevin and Steve had a magnet attached to the sides of their trucks with each other because they were just looked like they were just hooked to the hip, with, if you will, for a good chunk of that run at the end there. But yeah, I mean, it was a really good run for you guys. I'd mentioned to Kevin, I know you guys before have started from the pits and did a really good job where you'd catch the fields. I think it was even maybe before the first pit stop. And it's been a couple seasons, if not years ago, when that happened. But was that maybe a surprise where it's like, all right, these guys have stepped up their game, where it took some time to actually get back, or to even have a chance to get back to them, where it basically took that caution to catch them? I mean, was that something that you were like surprised, and or maybe even one of those, like, kind of one of those things where it's nice to see, is like, all right, these guys have been stepping their game up, kind of a situation?
Yeah, for sure was harder than we expected. We for sure were gaining time on them overall, but I think it's mainly down with how the new damage model is, right? And how aggressive you can be with the pushes. So whoever has temps and can push, generally that's the line that will go. Before you could, right, you can kind of hold your own and bubble push and do your own thing, and it wouldn't be as I would say obnoxious as it is now. Because like you said, back in the old days, it would be me, Steve, and Zach Lima. Us three would pull away from the pack. But now, with how the trucks are, you can't do it with three trucks anymore. You need four plus. So the leaders were doing a good job of swapping lanes and cooling each other's motors off, because the trucks now is whoever has temps to stay hooked together in a tandem. That's the lane that's gonna go. That's why you saw so much lane changing and stuff like that. Because as soon as the guy pushing gets hot, that lane's gonna fall backwards. So that's why the leader and the bottom would go to the middle. Then for a while they would go back to the bottom, or etc. So overall, we were still running them down. But if it did go green, it would have taken us probably around till lap 40 or 50, to be honest, at best, because we would gain uh, a few seconds per run. And then if we messed up a little bit in the pits, by the time we regrouped, the lead pack, since there was a lot more trucks, they would get packed up much faster. So they would gap us there. So yeah, just a mixture of things. Obviously, people getting better. That's obviously one thing, right? Because people, these guys do this on a weekly basis, and just how the truck is now with the damage model and the way you have to race it.
Yeah, it was. Like I said, it was a really good show by you guys, and then yeah, like I said, overall, just the race itself, there were definitely some very very intense points throughout the course of the race, but it was a lot of fun to watch and be a part of, man. So I'm completely shocked that you won this race. I would have never put any money on you or anything like that. But no, it was a great job tonight, Seabass. So definitely well deserved win tonight. Before we let you go hang out with your buddies, though, definitely want to give you the floor for any thanks and shouts for that win tonight.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to the boot knocker guys, Gabe, Eric, Cody, Vince, Kevin, and Steve. We were just in there having a blast, messing around, having fun. So shout out to them for letting us run with them. Shout out to Area 51 for letting us come in here from time to time, part-time schedule, and have fun. And hopefully they don't mind and enjoy racing with us, because we sure do. We sure do enjoy racing here. It's just a nice, calm, fun atmosphere, and we really enjoy it. That's why we come back. And shout out to you for putting on the broadcast. We usually tend to watch these races back because we want to see the shenanigans throughout the race, or what we were doing, or if you guys were having fun in the booth. We like to see what you guys say. So
I'll pick on Gaio.
Yeah,
What's wrong with that?
I don't know what that calm thing he was talking about. I was like, I mean, we weren't even racing, and I was getting nervous.
Yeah, you guys put my edge on my seat quite a bit.
yeah, you had a mixed bag there. Kevin was kind of like the calm, father figure, like, hey guys, let's be careful of the side draft. You don't want to throw away this win.
No, you guys were not.
Steve was the opposite. Steve was like, don't worry, it's just hard racing. I haven't turned to you yet. And they were going back and forth for about a lap and a half. And then when we got to the white flag, I'm like, oh boy, this might get spicy. So it was a lot of fun.
It was definitely a lot of fun for us to watch and be able to broadcast that. So just awesome job tonight, Seabass. I say appreciate you coming over here and not spending 4 hours doing an NIS 500 race if you haven't done one of those already. But yeah, great job tonight, Matt, and definitely looking forward to seeing you guys in the future races at Area 51, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, Matt, that is our race winner tonight in that number 23 truck. And like I said, it took till the final pit stop, but they finally were able to break away from the field and kind of separate themselves, where it was just them to go for the win. But yeah, again, I'm looking at that group from Corey Buskirk on back from 10th to 20th, and they were pretty much all on top of each other. They're like every position was just a couple hundredths of a second. So that was a good little battle there for the end as well. Which actually, you know what I'm going to do is let's back this up I'm going to take a look, see how their finish looked as well, because like I said, they had a really good run here as well. So we'll pick up the pace a little bit as they come through 3 and 4. I'll watch their dice to the finish line because, yeah, it looks like a little bit of separation. But you see Corey, he had some help there from Jacob Lee running the outside line. So, yeah, it was just a little bit of some spread outs there. So you had Bud Steele right there with Corey, and then the 48, the 21, the 22. And so they all come through side by side. And then right behind them, you have this group here with Carl Engel, Jim Brooks, Jeremy Osborne and company as well. So, and then Hannah Longmire and Jason Bogart there. So, but yeah, a lot of fun tonight. Like I said, these guys put on a really good race. And I'll say we had a couple weeks off. It was good to be back. And I'll say Mama Groover's got me wanting to go get some dessert now because Patrick's been eating ice cream and cookies. So I kind of want to do the same.
Don't say that because you're making me hungry.
It's not my fault. It's Mama Groover's fault. But Matt, as always, a pleasure doing these with you, man. Say we're going to be back in just a few nights' time, back with the IR18s, and we are going to be at, drumroll please, Phoenix Raceway. So first short track of the season.
Yeah.
that's gonna be a tricky one. I mean, that's definitely gonna be more of a track positions strategy type race. So it's been fun to see what that one's got in store. And then back again, Boomer gonna be working his magic in a few more nights' time. And they already ran Talladega, so they'll be at Atlanta for the second time this season to kick off the second basically round of races. For the 4 races that we run for the Superspeedway series. So, yeah, Matt, as always, appreciate you, man. Looking forward to being able to call the shots on the Indy at Phoenix, and then Boomer calling the shots at Atlanta in a few more nights' time. So everybody that watches, that supports us here at Green White Checkered TV with the Area 51 Race League, thank you so much. Also, a big shout out to Matt and Boomer. I mean, they ran the show while I was out and sick and stuff. So, thank you guys. I really, really appreciate you both. It meant a ton. So, I'm back. I'm better. Hopefully, all's good to go to the end. So yeah. So until then, we'll see you on Tuesday night. Take care. Stay safe. And have a good night.